Well, having wasted an entire day on that stupid file, uh, the Old Faithful there didn't come through. It was a wreck. It didn't work. When it hit 24 hours, I just cut it off. See what I have anyway. And although it played, it was completely out of sync, and the sound was off, and it was unsalvageable. So that was just a wasted day. And then I discovered this. Well, I knew I had it. This Avi Demus. I didn't think that would do anything. And well, it doesn't give me anything I can use with Virtual Dub, but it does allow you to cut out bits and pieces from a transmission stream and turn them into an AVI file. For instance, I made one here. This is just a short clip, 18 minutes. Note the size. Now the closing last 2 or 3 songs on the pyramid stage. And of course it's all perfect and everything. If I run it, the machine will probably just crap out. Maybe I can click on that at the end. Maybe I can upload this, but it might be just a long wait for nothing, right? It'll get up there and then it'll be content match, and down goes the channel and down goes everything just for a test. But notice it's kind of interesting. The data rate's not as high as I expected, but it's still very high. And when I used that Muxer thing, it changed the frame rate from 25 to 50. I don't know why. It even says so in here. Original 25, and it sets it at 50. I'm not sure if it's supposed to do that. The audio, it's AC3, it's Dolby, but it's low quality Dolby, I guess. I don't know what complete main means. I don't think it's Dolby, even though it's the same codec. Dolby is this, in order for Dolby to work and do its magic, you need a very high rate of data transfer because of the method. I think, if I understand what I read correctly, it uses something like, if you've ever been on an airplane, flown on a modern jet, you'll notice that it's quite quiet. Well, you wouldn't notice it unless you've also flown on an older airplane. The old ones that were really loud and noisy, just the sounds of the engine and stuff. What would really get to you after a while. Well, it's not so bad once you're up high and your ears kind of, I don't know what you call it, but your hearing gets softer because of the lower air pressure. But the way they made the newer planes much quieter. You don't hear anything almost anymore. It's not because they made the engines quieter. It's because they use a trick. The same trick I think that Dolby uses. If you look up Dolby, it says like advanced noise damping or something. I mean, that's its thing. The reason why it's so great is that you can do stuff with Dolby that you can't do with but just with the regular sound. Now I'm looking for the word damping. Damping or noise reduction. So, yeah, here. Maybe this says something. What they do in the airplane scenario is I need a straw. The sound from the engines is a wave, like it's cyclical or it's a repeating thing. Sound, as you probably know, um, it comes in the form of waves, things that help me, things that oscillate. A motion which is recurrent or repeats after a certain length of time. It looks something like that on a graph. There's plus and minus amplitude. If you think of this wave as representing the displacement of one of the little air molecules from its regular spot, there's a lot of tension and things to remain where they are. And if you give a little push, all the little molecules might get closer together, and so there's a higher pressure, and that gives them a tendency to want to move back out again, and that reduces the pressure, so then they want to go back in again, and you get an oscillation, and the oscillation propagates, right? Now here's an example of an oscillation. If you want to, if this now is represents as a noise, and you want to get rid of it, what you do is instead of getting rid of these things, you add noise exactly out of phase with this by 90 degrees, or half cycle. So when this is here, you have another oscillator exactly out of phase with this. You see? And if it's at exactly the right frequency, the two things, when you add them up, gives 0, and you don't hear anything. And that's the way that they make those aircraft very quiet. Is there's some kind of system that filters out the periodic sounds, the stuff that's not actually noise. I mean, something that has a predictable waveform like this, are fairly predictable, and then plays that same sound back over the speakers around the aircraft, exactly out of phase by 1/2. Well, I guess it's 90 degrees, right? From here to here is 360, so to here is 180, and to here is 90, so this is 90 degrees out of phase. See? Yeah, if I move this one, if I move this red one back to here, then I get this one. So that's 90 degrees. Now it's my theory anyway. I haven't seen any proof of this, but I think Dolby uses a similar idea in order for you to be able to play loud sounds without it sounding noisy. See, less distortion, more clarity. it's actually something that wouldn't happen in the real world, right? You can play sounds that would be nearly impossible to mimic in a natural way, because there's usually echoes and other vibrations that are associated with loud noises, right? And if you can cancel those out using that plus and minus trick, then you can do things that you couldn't have done before, like that Goldberg stuff. You'll note if you listen to it, and if you listen to it in the Dolby, even with regular speakers, it's much clearer. That the sound is much clearer than without. And so that's why it requires this high data rate. It's not for more accuracy in the reproduction of the sound, but it's for adding this, I think, this noise cancellation. So adding more sound, which has the effect of erasing the sounds that you don't want, and you can have a much more clear and much more crisp, nearly perfect sound. Anyway, that is a diversion. So I wasted the whole day and the whole night, and now it's the next day, and I should be asleep. But I figure I might as well test out this thing. So I record it here. I was just trying it without all that stuff going on. It loads too fast. Like now I got this. I'm trying to load up. Before this wouldn't load up at all. At least in Notepad Cube, it'll probably load up fine now. And it was only 7 megs. Now this is 23. I don't know why it's bigger. It's still, of course, now I got this thing going. Well, anyway, I don't know about that. I want my percentage bar. And so here's an example. It's the same loading up. Well, I just put pathing directly so that you can believe me. I am using the command line, but it's not. All I gotta do is shift, click, copy as path, and there you go. Just another slash. So just wherever I see this, I'll put path. And now you know that it's definitely this file, right? You're not really using this at all. So I'll get rid of that. Path. Now I invented a callback of the right form. It's an ANSI file, I think. Here I read, I pass in the callback, and the callback, whenever it gets called back, actually I don't have, this is not really a special case. All I'm doing is computing the percent done and printing it out. And if the keyboard is pressed, then that's when it works. So if I run this, you'll see it'll start. It draws a percentage starting with a carriage return, so it should erase every time. It'll erase the last line and then draw a new line and change the percent go up. And that's all there is to that. And I'll hit the escape and it should work. Then the next step is to make a percentage bar, a dialog with a percentage bar that uses the same kind of computation. I choose 4096 because I know that that's I'm going to get back most of the time. Okay, so there. Okay, it's counting up. It's slow now. That's why, you see. When I did this without the recorder on, this would have been finished by now. And you'll notice that it seems to be even going a bit. The more it goes, the slower it is because of the pending maybe. Now if I hit escape, it's doing this part. So it didn't lose this part of the text that I'd already read. See, now if only any video converter had this option, I could have quit and seen if I was getting, see, we got a little message. Seen if it was doing the right thing, right? And then abandoned it when I saw that it wasn't. Okay, so that's a great feature, and it seems to be done and working. I could try something that's, I should try something that's UTF-8. Well, I could take that file and try to open the Notepad. Come on, Notepad Cubed. I'll pause this. Okay, it still took a while, but what I'm going to do is put some of these funny characters in. Yeah, that's going to be slow too. Well, that's not my fault. I'm not doing that. So now it has to be, when I save, you notice how this comes up quickly now? It was already Unicode. Okay, I want to try UTF-8. That might take a while. The reason that comes up quick, wow, it's done already. How about that? The reason why that comes up more quickly now is because I discovered something about init common control. And the thing I discovered is don't call that function. If you do just init common controls with no parameters, like you can add with this new improved init common controls, then you get everything. Every possible control is geared up and ready to go when you open your dialog. Internet stuff, animated cursors, everything. Here's a list of all the stuff you could have. Internet class, page score, native font control. Watch, I think it has animation, hotkey. Let's see what I have. There's a whole bunch more that came along later. Windows theme, so be ready for that in case you click that. blah blah blah. So all I did was I just took the standard classes, and this adds. Actually, I do have the anime. I don't use it. The reason I put this one was because I needed to list view one, and plus now we're going to need a progress bar, and then there's up down too. These are fancy and these are standard, right? And I have some fancy things, but not as many fancy things as possible. So you can speed up your dialogue loading by not initializing. This thing's going to take however long it normally takes, but when you open a dialogue, everything that has been initialized sort of gets ready, and that causes a long pause. Not anymore, though. Now, one thing you might ask, and you would be correct in asking, is why not, instead of, why not just do it like a, I can't, okay, do it like I was doing in this unit test, right? Just do something like this. Well, I could do that, in fact. You see, normally you couldn't do that in a single thread. You couldn't have a dialogue in the same thread that's busy reading the file because it would be too choppy, right? So the second thread allows you to smoothly move a dialogue around. But the thread that, or whatever it is, Windows itself, the operating system, draws the non-client area for you. I'm pretty sure of that. And if you set this text, I think that would show up right away. So it may be possible for me to start ticking the percentage here and have a little message, press escape to interrupt. As a quick and dirty thing, try it. But I still want to have the percentage bar and all that. Maybe I'll have two things, right? And that could be an option. Don't show loading dialogue. Right? But would you get a key? How would you get a key message? You'd have to somehow not let your message key get. It's a little bit more. It's a little bit difficult. It'd be better to have a separate thread in any event. I don't know if I can kill this. No. It won't process. This thing is hung. It's not hung. It's running, but it's not processing messages, right? Yeah, let's wait. Doesn't matter. No, let's just kill it. So yeah. Let me see. Okay, well, I'm going to stop this recording where it is. And I'm going to have to turn it into an ASCII if I want to glue things together. And I'll think of I'll try a couple experiments and see what I can come up with as a quick and dirty, or maybe a complete dialogue with a percentage bar and everything. That means I would have to add a new control. But adding a new control has become pretty easy now that I've reorganized everything. I did a lot of cleaning up in here as well. The controls here, there's a special one. We can't, actually, it's not in here. But there's a standard place now where I keep all the strings, the class names in here. See? So, I think I already have percent, maybe. No. Oh, wait. Tab, IP, page, no. But whatever the percentage bar class is called, I'll add it to this list. And just copy whatever MFC does. Or whatever I had before. Actually, I've done it before. I have I have a program that uses a percentage bar. Ah. I do. Here, watch. Okay, I take some code. Well, how about comma? There's lots of stuff in here. And now I have this thing that I got in the send to called convert CPP to HTML. And this it does a long process, and so it has a percentage bar that runs in a separate thread that runs a dialog. So first I need to decide where I want to put the HTML version of my code. Probably on the same drive. That's there. How about here? The HTML. I forgot about that. Okay. Now see, it says this is a folder. Do you wish to include subfolders as well? Yes. So now here it is. See, and it's doing its thing, and I can cancel, and it'll interrupt the operation. And what it's actually doing in temp here, it's building the same directory structure but making HTML files for each of the CPP files. Now I can wait for it to finish, and it will take me to the root, I think. And it gets all the settings for the colors and whatnot out of the registry. If I open one of these up here. So you can see it should have all my custom colors and everything. Well, this one's all commented out. Well, bad choice. See, that's my color. Those are my colors. So let's see here, red. See, and now it's done this by just taking the color values and the font and whatnot out of the registry and made an HTML file that makes it look like what I normally see. Okay, interrupted, but actually I want to finish because I forget what it does. I think it makes an index file for me. If it's like an Apache server thing, then you don't need one. But for if I want to browse these files and stay in the internet browser, then it's going to have to make special index files for each directory. I think it does that. We'll see. But you'll notice how I can move this around even though the program is busy doing a very hard drive intensive operation. So stuff on this one. Oh yeah, it's a huge file. Plus this thing's going. Come on. Okay, it's getting there. So I have the source code for drawing that control, or drawing that one of these percentage bar things. And just do the same thing. I don't think it's even using NFC. It's really easy. You just make one of those things and it has a number and oh yeah, okay. Yeah, see? It's done this. Oh, I see it. Maybe I don't. This isn't a special file, is it? This is just the view you get if you type in the right letters here. So I can, if I wanted to, I could upload this on the internet, and people could look at the source code and properly formatted rather than what you usually get, which is everything all flat and pushed to the side. HTS Windows, parent directory, work, HTML, comments. Oh, I only did from here. Let's see. I didn't do the full thing. Okay, so I'm going to look at that for a while. Maybe I'll just upload this to get you all excited about what's coming up. Not this, I mean this video. Okay, see. Okay, I think maybe I can do this in a few minutes. I'll try. Now I searched around and I found my old progress bar thing here. And it doesn't use any classes or anything at all, so I'll do the same thing. Just send message, right, to a control, special kind of control. And I made a dialog resource that has one of those controls. This is a percentage bar indicator. Progress bar. Progress. It didn't show the class name, does it? You have to look in the resource file. So now I have this loading dialog and it's got a progress bar and a cancel button. All I gotta do is make a thread that'll just call the regular do modal. So here, first I'll just make it and it won't do anything. It's not my code. Here's a thread. Here's its thread proc. Okay. And I just got to define this somewhere. Let's see. I guess that's here. At the bottom. So that would be a TS file loading thread proc. Right? Typically it's like this. think we're gonna have a chance to check this because I'm gonna go into a modal loop, right? In this case, I'll undo that generally. Not sure. I'll think about it in a minute. Now what this guy needs, or I can just declare here, progress, what do I call the dialog? Progress or something. Progress DLG. Loading DLG. So just doing the typical thing. Okay, one dialog created. So separate. Okay, now what I would do here is I would declare a loading DLG and that. Do I have resource starting? Probably. So that's my thread proc. I don't even need this because that's going to be blocked. Right? So now, when I'm going to load a file that's here, I'm going to pass a I would normally pass a callback, but let me just start the dialog thread. And then read the file, and if it's taking a long time, you'll see that the thread will do its thing. And I want to stop it after this is done. Now that's got to kill it somehow, right? So it's got to kill the dialog. Once this thing is, well, for one thing, once it's up and once that dialog, I've got to call in the into the thread proc rather. Where'd it go? I have to call that thread. What's it called? So signal thread started. Yeah. That has to be called, right? I can call that here. That would be before the dialog enters its modal loop. What I would like to do is call this after the dialog is up and running, like do it in WM init dialog. I'd like to do it here. So again, do I want to do a callback, or like I can pass a thread? Okay, I can pass myself in here in the constructor. Alright. Actually, I want it to be this kind of thread exactly. Because I'm going to let this thread be a friend. Let the loading dialog be a friend of the thread. Well, hopefully that doesn't mean TS file loading dialog. Maybe I have to declare one here. Just to say that there is a class in the world called this, and it's a friend of this loading thread. Hopefully that'll be right. Now if I pass that in, so at the constructor, right, and I do make a number, one of these things, pointer to, then I'm going to call that function. Since I'm a friend, I should be allowed to. So what that means is that by the time we it's up the top here. By the time we get to this line, the dialog is up and running, right? And so there's like an H-wind, a valid H-wind. We could search for the H-wind or do something. But what I'd like to be able to do instead of this is post a quit message to the dialog's H-wind. and set this as well. So I don't have to set this. No, it's better to do this because I could wait on the thread, I guess. So what I need to do now, just one more thing. In this thread, I want to have a record of the H-wind of the dialog. I don't need this. This is, let's say, the H-wind of the dialog. If it's going. Yeah, you see, I should derive from dialog, but let's do it separate. Actually, my other modeless dialog class derives from both thread and dialog, so they would be one and the same. There's no problem. They are friends, so they are sort of one and the same. So down here, we can do first do this. Set the H1 signal thread started, and in this class, public. This is a quick hack. That allows me to call, what's this new file? That allows me to say, send message, I guess. Actually, I could send a dialogue item message to it, ID OK or something. There is a function like that. Yeah. Oh, it's ID cancel. Same thing. Well, actually, it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be an existing thing. ID OK is automatically handled. Dialogue, identifier, and then message. I think that should work. If not, I can send a cancel. There is a cancel button. But OK should work too. Now, just stop. Stop here, waits for the thread to exit its loop. I don't really need to do this, but I want to make sure it's done. And down here in our thread, we run do modal. No, you could just do, doesn't matter. Leave it as serious. Because by calling stop, that sets the signal. This signal. So the post message should come into here. I don't need to handle it because that's in the default handling of a TS dialog. And everything's fine. It takes that. And God knows some express compile. This is not with any percent bar in it working or anything. Just the dialog. Get it up and find a way to kill it. And now we have a way to send messages to it, right? If we can just send Windows messages, and those will be in the thread context. And let's see, private. Loading thread, that's true. I could have made a friend of this as well. But one thing at a time, one friend at a time. So that's public, that should be okay. Maybe a miracle if this works. It's compiling though. I can choose that great big file and then you can just see fix all this. Yes, true. Whoops. Okay, well if you stop compiling, it'll stop. Seems right. I create the dialog. This is in a different thread, and it's called do modal. And that means that that means that at this point it's in a loop. But that loop is calling get message, and you can receive messages. Oh. We'll keep going. These ones seem to be compiling. And they don't include this. It's been through that file. Blue test. Now let's see what happens. If this works, I'll just upload what I got. Let me see the time. Yeah, but there's not much time for more. If it doesn't work, I'll try and get it working. I'll pause it and I'll try to get it working. But I can't, it looks right. Yeah, this is read text. We get to the read text function, we start the thread, then we start reading the file. By the time we start reading the file, the dialog is up. Right, so that means we can call these sorts of messages after this point. It means that this is going to succeed. Right? Read file might return instantly. I'm going to make sure that this is going to succeed. Okay. So run the program. I'm going to get to that same file. Big file. Here. Oh, there it is. See? Now this thing, this is okay and working, but this one is, well, it should be, it is reading the file, it should be. I don't know why it's not saying not responding. I should be able to move it around. Oh, yeah, it probably isn't getting any Windows messages, this one. Now, I could hit cancel and that would kill this dialog. See? And now I have this closed. Right? That's true, it wouldn't be set. But I should get Windows messages now. Yeah. I'm gonna break. Correct. Just be. Oh no. I started a whole bunch of them. No. Yeah. These are all the same. Where from? Read file. Hang on a sec. I'm not reading the file from that thread. Read text. Loading thread start. The reading the text is in the main thread. Okay. Wait a minute, how did I get this? How come that thing asserted? This wouldn't have been completed. Oh, the assertion is in the thread, right? Okay, but then that's not true. That's fine. It's simply not true. I'm just going to quit my thread, and in the other thread, this line never got reached. I would check normally. I'll have to do that. I don't have to stop it otherwise. I don't understand though. This should have gone into the read text file. And it should just be doing its read. If that other thread stops, it stops. Big deal. Oh, but no, I never got here. One more try. Anyway, you can see that it wasn't such a big deal to get that thing going. Do modal is probably not the right thing to call, because we only want to filter out messages that are not destined for dialogue, but they should get sent to the right window. I don't know. Should be in history. No, it didn't get loaded. No. Break. See what's going on. Now, why have I got like 40 threads going? Read text. There's only one dialog box. Good old multi-threading. It's a laugh a minute. Okay, start the thread. Read text file. We're already a whole bunch. Wait a minute now. By the time I get there, all those threads could be from this stupid thing. I haven't started any thread. Okay, so these are not my threads. Those are from that dumb dial. Yeah, these addresses are in shell 32 or something. So that's not my thread. No problem. So the thread's going, and I'm reading the text file. And if I break, there's the one that's reading, and one doing do modal, and all these other ones are doing their thing, whatever it is. They should die out eventually. It'd be good if I could put a progress indicator. I'm set up to do it now. Everything's open. One's a friend of the other. You can break again. Now, why are these ones not dying? Probably because this thing's eating up the messages or something. Well, let's look at this one. Maybe it's stuck here. Where this is called snap. NP string in number. Oh, look, that's a big number. It's read that many things. That string's quite big so far. Read text file. Spare data. Oh. No, that's right. Which eventually goes to com. And oh, it's a UTF-8 one, unfortunately. Now, well, I can put a breakpoint here. See if that ever gets hit. The messages aren't, there are no messages going through to the main window, but it doesn't matter. Either it's really slow or there's a bug. There's probably, I'm guessing, a lot of cars in file 800 bytes per, oh, look at bytes per call. But no. We never call it, that's right. We haven't set it up. But it's still, okay, so it ought to get to here, please. Okay, and there it does. So it's reading, right? It's going through and reading. Eventually it'll finish. If we wait long enough, I can cancel this, but that doesn't help. Doesn't help us get our window back. And if I break I think all those other threads are still going to be doing too. Oh no, some of them die. Maybe when those ones die, this thing will come back. Alright, it's sort of working, so you get the idea. I'll try and fix it up. Okay, see you soon.